Good evening, folks, and thank you for joining us for another town hall hosted by Delico Arts. I'm Delico Arts Artistic Director Amanda White, and I'll be your host and moderator for the evening, joined by my co-host, fellow Artistic Director Ben T.G. Good evening, Ben.
Good evening, Amanda. Thank you for being here. You look stunning.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Folks, Delico Arts knows that there are questions that many of you have about the Main Street project, and so our organization did what any business on Main Street would do with a vested interest in community well-being. We reached out to the Minnesota Office of Pathway Enhancement, or as many of you know it, MinOpe, to ask them for some answers to our questions, and they agreed to give us some access this evening. Those of you who have navigated the labyrinthine process that is any LeSueur County road construction know what a coup it is for us to be joined this evening by the Minnesota Office of Pathway Enhancement's project director, the project manager. It is my pleasure to welcome this evening to our town hall Dr. Amelia Asphalt. Dr. Asphalt, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, hello. Hello. Happy to be here. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to pave the road to communication.
We are certainly grateful to have you.
Yeah, it's fun to be here.
Thank you. Can you tell us just a little bit, just give us a little bit of your background, what brought you to MinOpe?
Yes, that is a great question. Well, I have a doctorate in pathological studies from Rhodes University. I like to joke and say that I'm a Rhodes scholar. That's just a fun road joke. But yeah, yes, in all seriousness, I do. I deeply believe that there's an ideology to pathways, and the road to success starts with roads. So yeah, and so I did get the job. I am officially the project manager, of the downtown New Prague project, and it has been so much fun. And we are really cooking along, if I do say so myself.
Okay. Well, so what's your involvement then in the project? How are you overseeing the work?
Yeah, well, good question. Well, I was in on the ground, just like the roads will be, soon enough. In on the ground when when we were designing a new road, and I am overseeing the project, and I am just out there taking pictures and pointing fingers and telling people where to go and what to do. Little by little, we're making it. We are doing it.
Great. I'm going to turn the mic over to my co-host, Mr.
Oh, what?
Hello. Good evening, Dr. Asphalt. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Wait, before I move on, it's actually asphalt. Asphalt.
Oh, asphalt.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, I apologize.
That's okay.
My question was, you know, I'm wondering how unique this project is. Like, how does New Prague's Main Street construction project, how does that compare to other Minnesota community projects that you've led?
Oh yeah, well, good question. That is a very good question. So, one of the ways that the New Prague road project is so unique is it's a relatively short amount of road, and it's just very straight. So you think it would be easy, and it would go quickly, and you know that's the assumption, but you know it's like I said, you know, the less ingredients an ice cream has, the harder it is to make. And that's kind of what we're dealing with here with the New Prague project. It's just so straight and so simple that you think it would be easy, but you know, everyone can taste what kind of vanilla beans you're using. Does that make sense? You see where I'm going with that?
That does actually make a lot of sense, yes.
Yeah, if there's only 5 ingredients, you really, really care about what 5 go in.
That
And so we had to decide what kind of what kind of road we want it to be. Do we want it to be a road that people just drive on, or do we want it to be a road that people experience? And I don't know about you two, but I opt for the latter. Even though there are no restaurants in town, you want people to stop and enjoy themselves. That is what I say.
Yeah, I think that's really, I appreciate that. I think that's an excellent point, Dr. Esfolt.
Yes, very good.
How'd I do?
That's good. That is
Great.
good. That's better than grandma said it. So that's good.
Okay, great. Well, I'm just curious, obviously, the project, it it has a little bit of a different timeline now than what we anticipated in the planning stages.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if you could talk a little bit about the revised timeline.
Mm,
How long do you anticipate the project taking?
Okay, well, I mean, I don't want to get too esoteric here, but it all kind of depends on how you view time. Do you view time in a linear, 9 to 5, 7 days a week kind of schedule, or do you view time as we are now in the era of the dinosaurs was thousands of years, but in the grand scheme of time, it was relatively short that they were around. So in the so in the relative scope of time, we are cooking along. I mean, we're really blasting through this project, but if you're inside of it, it might feel like it's going at a snail's pace, but snails will travel. They do move, ever forward.
Right, right. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's really that's some good perspective just to think
Mm,
about time being relative.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes it actually a little easier. It's interesting that you say that. We
Mhm.
do have, the project website is actually quite comprehensive. It's very useful.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
That
yes.
was all me. I said, they love to look at pictures, so let's give them a show
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of
to
visual.
really visualize. Yeah.
And I think it would be helpful to show those attendees to the town hall tonight what the time lapse looks like if they haven't seen it, and give you an opportunity to just give us some feedback. What's happening
That's
here in this
wonderful.
time lapse? Is that okay?
yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to do a walkthrough. Everyone loves a slideshow.
Okay,
Great.
great. And
Yeah.
so I think we have some footage of the time lapse. Am I correct?
Yes, this is straight from the project's website. Here
Okay.
we go. Just walk us through what's happening here.
Okay. So as you can see here, the sun is going up and coming down and going up and coming down, and a bunch of see all that move. I mean, a bunch of there's different cars on the road at all times of the day, so it is just busy, busy, busy. And you can really see the progress. I think right here is along when you can. Well, it's very nuanced. You can't really tell what a beaver is building until you see the full dam. So this is, yeah, well, okay. So this is all pretty much, it's to the blind eye, it looks like absolutely nothing changed.
Right.
But of course, if you are a doctor of pathological thinking, you will definitely see that road has been is really in the it's really in the germinating stage. I don't know about you two, but I do a lot of thinking in the shower. And sometimes when I do my most thinking, I don't do my best cleaning. If you will, I don't do my best scrubbing. So we are in the thing we are in the we're wet. We're wet in the shower, but we haven't sudsed up yet. And I think that's a really good way to show what's happening on that time lapse. And I just think if we had a Zoom capability, just imagine how many flowers would have shot up from the ground and then, died away again. You could write a poem about it.
That is a good point.
Yeah,
That is a good point.
that's a great point.
We do
Yeah.
have some audience questions.
Oh, great.
So,
Oh, fun. Hello,
yeah.
everyone. Hello.
Yes. Kendra asks about how many roundabouts can we expect on Main Street for this once this project is finished?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, good question, Kendra, and I will answer you straight and not in a roundabout fashion. Oh, we have so much fun. To answer your question, Kendra, we plan to get as many roundabouts in there as humanly possible. We are looking to install one roundabout for every, quarter foot or so, just so you're just zooming, just circling along, just like you're on the spinning teacups. We find that a traveler is more likely to travel a road if they're having a good time. And so the more we can get it like a scrambler ride at a traveling carnival, the better. So, so look for more. Look for more roundabouts in your near future, because boy, no one likes to stop.
Boy, is that true. I don't. I know I don't.
I'm sure you're happy to hear that, Amanda.
Yeah, that's thrilling.
I'm a go, go, go kind of gal, even if it's in a circle.
You do seem that way.
Yeah.
Speaking of roundabouts, Chuck was wondering what the best way to navigate them would be. In the Northern Hemisphere, should roundabouts be navigated by pedestrians in a counterclockwise or clockwise direction?
Sure.
Gosh, Chuck, that is a really thoughtful question, and this question, I can tell you have a broad mind, and you're really thinking outside the box, and we want to encourage our pedestrians to just wing it. Wherever you can walk in a straight line, you can walk clockwise or counterclockwise, or you can put on a black leotard and do a moment chance-esque tube dance across the circle. My point is that be safe and obviously look both ways. And of course in a roundabout, look both ways and then the other both ways and then all the ways because it's round. So
That was great. Thank you.
Very.
I'm sure that provided some clarity, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
I love how your community is reaching out and asking questions everyone wants to know.
Well, This is why we had you here, because all we've heard since we started Delico Home Invasion is, can we hear from the Minnesota Office of Pathway Enhancement?
Right.
So thank you.
Well,
this
has been fun for me too, because we at MinNope, we are often just in our basement, desk dwellings, just like seeing, we have a firm philosophy. I think you create a better road when you never go outside. You know what I mean? Because then it just leaves it to the pure imagination of it all. We don't want to bind ourselves with function or logic. We just want to just let ourselves explore in a true kind of anything goes kind of way. So the less we see the sun and the less we go outside, the better. So this has been real fun for me especially. Yeah.
Good.
Speaking of new techniques and new ways of doing things, Casey had an interesting question. I've heard that they're trying a new method for paving roads using used water bottles. Are you using this technique, and can you speak to how many water bottles we can save with this method?
Great.
Yes. Conservation is so. I'm sorry. What was that, Amanda?
No, you go right ahead. I just interrupted you.
Well, as you know, that is a very, very good question. Conservation is so important. The more water bottles that we can put into our roadways and not into the ocean, the better. So we are experimenting with grinding the water bottles down versus keeping them just stomping on them with our feet like a vat of grapes in a old winery. So the methods are still, we're still testing out which method would be most viable to mix with the asphalt that we will likely use as well. But this will save tons and tons of water bottles from going to places that they just frankly should not go. In fact, I would rather drive on water bottles than swim with them. So this is a good thing. We are doing what I like to call a bottle weave technique, where we cut the bottles into thin strips and then we weave them together on a giant Scandinavian loom. And then we coat the loom in a dark gravel. And then we just just shape that into a water bottle and just do it all again. And what that does, that double bottle technique, really does strengthen the roads. I mean, talk about a labor of love, but it is working. It is important. So good question. Good question.
That was very interesting stuff. Very
Yes,
interesting. Do we
very
have
interesting to
time
know.
for more audience questions? Is that what?
Do we have more? Are there more questions?
There
up
are
right
some
now?
more, yeah.
Why don't we do a couple of let's do some of our designed questions, Ben, and then
Sure.
why don't we get to the audience in just a minute? Does that
Sure.
sound good? Just so we
Sure.
get everything. Yeah.
I'm just having a great time.
Oh,
It
good.
feels like my birthday here. I
Well,
just
we're
want you
certainly
to know.
glad to have you and to celebrate with you.
I haven't seen another human person in a very long time, so this has been great for me.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ben, do you? I think you have a
I
question.
do. So,
Okay, great.
Doctor, I've been getting the weekly construction updates
Yeah.
via email. I love them very much. In the
Well,
last
you're
one,
welcome for that.
thank you. In
I
the
said
last one,
it used to be shorter, but I said, you know what the people want to read in those emails? More words. So I made sure to make them very long and the font very small. So you're welcome for that.
yes, thank you. I do enjoy that.
Yeah.
In the last one, it mentioned that the contractor completed soil correction work. I wonder if you can talk about what that is exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever heard of bad soil? Okay, well, bad soil isn't what you think it is. It's not wearing a leather jacket, smoking ciggies with its buds on the corner. Okay, bad soil has the is not viable for roads to sit on. It's too loose. It's too crumbly. Okay, so here we in the at the Minnesota office for pathway enhancement, we like to put our soil through a process of hardening up. It's equivalent to those boot camps where you send your naughty boys. It's equivalent to that. We put that dirt through a rigorous pack down process where we add soil rich nutrients, so you don't kill the earth underneath it, but then we really stamp it down. We just really make it really solid, really hard, harder than the crust of day old Italian bread. And that is the process. So it's a chemical removal and also a soil enrichment, and then we just put it in a vice grip, so to speak, kind of like you're pinching the neck of your naughty neighbor. Oh, but in a non-violent way, of course. That is, yeah, no violence happens to the dirt in the process.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in there, water
Uh-huh.
bottles happen.
Oh yeah, and then the water bottle later, okay, and then eventually the road.
Wow, what a process!
Unbelievable.
Who knew?
What a time! Isn't that
Yes.
fun? Everyone thinks it's just a road, but I say it's not a road, it's a party.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. This is very
Yeah.
useful.
Extremely
you.
useful, yes.
Yeah, and I just wonder if then you could, you wouldn't mind talking about, we're a business on Main Street, and we're certainly not alone. There are many businesses along the construction corridor, and I'm wondering what advice you can give to businesses who are experiencing maybe some difficulties in customers accessing their facilities. What would you say to a frustrated Main Street business owner?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Hey, can you see me? I feel like I froze up there a little bit. Am I back?
You're
Am I
back.
back?
You're back.
Okay, good. Will you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Boy, the age of Zoom, I'll tell you what, right? Okay, can you hear
I
me now?
can. I certainly can.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So my question was maybe a little selfish. Obviously, Delico Arts is on Main Street, and I'm just wondering, what advice you have for businesses like ours, where there might be some concerns about access
Mm.
to business entrances. Maybe just what would you say to frustrated business owners?
Oh, okay. Well, I'd say to frustrated business partners, I would say, hey, look, I hear you and I get it. Okay, I really get it. But it's like going to one of those tickle parties. At first, you see just this looming like hallway of just tickly fingers coming at you, and you got to walk through it. You got to go through the tickle party, and sometimes it tickles so much that it hurts. And that you might think is pain, but then when you get on the other side, you experience euphoria of being tickled by all of your favorite people. And then you're very happy and you're glad about the process. So right now, I would say that businesses like yourselves might be experiencing the beginning of a tickle tunnel. But just know that if you just put your head down and just walk through it and get be let yourself laugh a little, and get to the other side, you will look back and see you have a nice paved road that you and it will all have been worth it.
Yeah.
Mm,
That is an
yeah.
analogy that I will not forget. So
well
thank you.
well, you're welcome, because it's very coherent. And
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
I like that. We are at
Yeah.
the beginning of the tickle tunnel,
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
The very
the
beginning.
very beginning.
The very beginning, where everyone's going, "Oh, I'm gonna get ya! I'm a gonna get ya!" And you're like, "No, Auntie, stop it! I don't like this. Please, I just want more potato salad." That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, I
great.
understand. Hmm.
Well, what do
Hmm.
you think, Ben? Should we take some more audience questions? Do you
We
have
do
any?
have a few more. Yes,
Okay.
if you
If you
if you
have
think we
time, do you have time, Dr. Esfel?
I have nothing but time. The only thing I have to look forward to is an old egg salad that I forgot about. So here we go.
Well, we do know your studio called and said that you do have a meeting next with the Elko Speedway Resurfacing Committee, and we don't want to get it. Maybe that was canceled, but we don't want
No, no, you're right. Thank you for reminding me. I do have to jet. I do have to jet to that meeting very shortly. I will be eating my sandwich during that meeting.
oh no.
Yeah,
Oh
but
no.
that's fine. I'm very committed.
Oh no. Well, we'll see
Now
if we can
go,
buy
here
you
we
some
go.
time.
Yeah, you are more than welcome. More than welcome.
I'm personally interested in this question. Lenore wants to know, will the area in front of Delico Arts get special treatment?
Oh, interesting.
Mm. Well, we do love to show our appreciation for the arts. So I think, because the arts have it kind of easy right now at this time, we'll probably take our time around the Delaco area, and make that maybe one of the last things that we get to, just so they can really know the full scope of it. Because I think you have to experience some pretty deep emotional ups and downs in order to make good art. So I think that is one of the things that we are willing to do for Delacote, to really make sure that they have something to do theater about. Yeah,
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. You're welcome in advance for that.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
That is very insightful.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to make sure you use both hands to pull that sword from the stone.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Gretchen is wondering, she says she's seen people drive their cars directly over the roundabouts. This might not be your office, but where do you know where the permit is received to do
Hmm.
that?
Oh dear.
Hmm. That department is called the IDGAF department, and you'll have to look it up. I'm not in charge of the permits for that, but I know you get to a certain place in your mind, And then you have to get certain levels of caring. And then once you've gone through all the levels of caring, I know that you can receive a permit for that, and then have at it. Just go for it. Yeah. But be sure to Google it. IDGAF.com.
That's excellent.
Right. Look
Thank
that
you.
up. We'll look that up right
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope that helps, Gretchen.
Yeah.
Chuck would also like to know, he says, jaywalking is a proud tradition in New Prague.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that. It
Yeah.
absolutely is. Can
Yeah.
we eliminate some crosswalks to ease that process? Great
Well,
idea.
Yeah, that's
Chuck, Chuck, that's I love that kind of thinking. See, now that's the kind of thinking that we love at Minnow. We are always trying to think outside the roads. So, instead of eliminating the crosswalks, Chuck, what we plan to do is just paint the whole road like a crosswalk, like one giant crosswalk, and really honor the traditions of New Prague. Cross wherever you want. It's your town, not ours. The roads are for sharing. So it'll just plan on having it be one large striped crosswalk. Your road is going to look like the striped snake from Beetlejuice. It's just going to be large and in charge, and you can walk wherever you want. And I say, more power to you. That is something great about your town, and we plan to honor it.
Thank you.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds really great.
That's good news to Ben, I know.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Tony had a nice idea, a drive up box office lane for Delaco.
Oh!
Is it too late to implement something like that, Doctor?
Well, you could get, let's see here, you could get a special permit for that. I think I have that right here. Oh, no, that's an insurance card. That's not what you need. Oh, nope, that's my passport. Don't need that for a while. Let's see here. Well, I definitely know that there is a permit you can get, and we can make a special portion of the road, because that is some good thinking. We want people to be able to get those tickets with ease and without moving any more than they possibly need to. So yeah, I'll look that up and I'll send it along.
Thank you.
That sounds great.
Appreciate that. And we'll pass that along to those in attendance this evening. We do have your contact information, so make sure you get it.
Yeah.
Should we get to some cool pics of the week?
Well,
Oh,
Is that what we had planned?
that sounds
are you
great.
sure you want to get everyone this riled up this close to bedtime?
Right.
They're pretty cool.
That's
Those
right.
as cool as can be.
I just want to make sure they all know about this because, like I said, I'm a big fan of the weekly updates, the email updates. And inside of the weekly updates, there is a cool pics of the week section, which I love. And like you said, I get really excited about it. But a lot of times I'm not sure what's going on in these pictures. So I'm wondering if you would be able to help us understand what's happening in these cool pics.
Oh, sure thing. No problem. Yeah,
Okay.
let's see them.
So the first one, go ahead.
I personally choose these every week because I don't want to brag, but I'm kind of the cool one here at the office. So
I believe that.
That seems right.
That's what they call me. They say, "Well, you're so cool. You pick out the pictures." And I said, "Well, okay, twist my arm."
This first one is, I assume, from the first time that the road was done in Prague. I'm wondering what's happening in this photo.
Yeah, well, fun that you should ask that, because what's actually going on here is that the very first road in New Prague was actually paved right underneath the old tire swing that was haunted. It was a haunted tire swing. And they said, well, we can't possibly move that. We'll redistribute the goats throughout the town. So the very first road was paved underneath it. And I don't know if you can see, but that trench there is where the people would travel underneath the tire swing. Eventually, the tire swing burned down in a lightning storm, and so they were able to put a road on top of the road. But yeah, that is what's happening. That is what is happening in this picture. Pretty cool, huh?
I thought that was what it was, but I wasn't sure. I wanted to get confirmation, so thank you for that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Wow, a tire swing. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not from New Prague.
Mhm.
We should look into getting that tire swing back because that
What a
seems like
good
something fun
idea.
for the town.
That's a great idea.
And
Maybe for
historic.
Dojinki one
Yeah.
year or something.
Yes.
Yes, very much so.
Here's two big pipes. What's this about?
Okay, well these are what we at Minnope call God's binoculars, and it looks just like two big pipes, but when we're laying out pipes like this, you can really see the distance, and we like to lay the pipes side by side, just to get us a view of how big they are, because you'd think if you cut all the pipes from the same tube or what have you, that they will be all the same size, but you don't know. One of the fun things you can do is just put one eyeball in each pipe, and then you get a different perspective. And we at Minnope like to have all perspectives covered. So yeah, so this is what that is. That is God's binoculars right there.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I could do this all night.
Oh yeah.
So interesting and cool.
Very cool. That's what I said when I first saw those two pipes like that together. I was like, "Gosh, looks like Zeus is going to the opera," and we all had a laugh. We all had a laugh because we thought, "Oh yeah, that is what that looks like." Yeah. Mhm.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Now that I see it through your eyes, that's
Yeah. Well, you look at something one way and you think, "Oh, that's just one thing," and then, sometimes my brain it just kind of goes to another place.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why you have your job.
Right. Thank you. Yeah.
Here's one. I was wondering what those guys were doing in that pipe.
Well, Ben, this is what we call having lunch. Oh gosh. Yeah, sometimes in the middle of the workday, instead of climbing out of the trench to eat your sandwiches, you just throw the sandwiches into the trench and you sit inside the pipe, and you just have a little coffee klatch right inside that tube there. And sometimes the dust from the steel really adds almost like a paprika kind of element to whatever food you're eating. And they say that taste is not just the taste of things, but also the look of things. So that's a perk of the job, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a perk.
Yeah. Yeah. And can you see how that guy in the blue hat is just kind of digging?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's digging out. He earlier in the day he buried his Dr. Pepper in the ground, kind of an old-fashioned refrigerator, if you will, and he's just digging it up so his drink stays nice and cool during a hot work day.
Wow, you really are thinking outside the road over there.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's fun.
Gretchen confirms you eat with your eyes first.
Gretchen?
See now she knows. She would appreciate that the iron ore sprinkled gently over a tuna salad.
There you go.
Last one here, Doctor. A big wood pile. What's this about?
Okay. See now this is the old road. The old wood that was used in a railroad track that's no longer used. So we broke it up and we put it into these giant chunks. And we're just waiting for like a gerbil or some sort of large rodent that could use this for their bed. Either that or we'll probably make it into some sort of bonfire that we'll all dance around once that road is finished. But who knows? We're still thinking about this. But yeah, this is definitely the road. This is the old road being pulled up from the earth and left on the ground. But boy, that's a cool pick.
Very cool.
That is
a cool pick though, huh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun to have a bonfire at the end of the Tickle Tunnel?
Oh, yes. Now that's a party I want to go to.
Yeah, well, you're invited.
Yeah, when I saw that picture, I said, a bunch of my coworkers were like, well, Dr. Amelia, that just looks like a bunch of wood. No one wants to look at that. And I said, look again, because that's a cool pic if I ever saw one. And they said, well, you're the cool one. So we defer to your judgment. And I'm glad they did because it made it in the email.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
It's cool. Okay, I think we have time for one more question, maybe, Ben.
One more question.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep, I've got one right here. Kendra had a good question. I'm sure you're aware, Doctor, that Main Street divides LeSueur and Scott counties.
Yes.
So Kendra is wondering, can we make the LeSueur side slightly flashier than the Scott side? Because the Scott side does tend to get most of the attention.
It does.
So
I love this idea, Kendra.
it is good.
Yes, we have heard about that here at Minnope, and we are planning to do some wild things. We're thinking everyone likes those string lights that you put up in your backyard. So we're thinking maybe some string lights, maybe some topiaries of wild animals. I voted for the moose because I've never seen a more magical beast than a moose. I don't know about you, but and I also was thinking of some of those roundabouts. I think are just begging to for a fountain to be put in the middle. And so we're going to flash up the LeSueur side by probably adding some fountains. Everyone loves a water feature. Every English garden begs for one. And so New Prague and the LeSueur side of the road definitely deserve a fountain too. So we are thinking about that. We're in the works for that.
That sounds good.
Yes. Well, great news. Kendra,
Yeah.
I hope that gives you some hope. That's exciting.
Yep,
Yes.
she's excited.
I would love to see just a fountain of Cupid just shooting its arrow right into the mouth of a moose who's just like gurgling it like mouthwash on a Saturday night.
That is so fun. That's New Prague. That feels New Prague to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'd say. That is what I think of when I come to New Prague.
Yeah.
Like,
well, listen, we want to make sure that you have time to eat that egg sandwich before your meeting with the Elko Speedway Resurfacing Committee. So
yeah.
I just can't thank you enough for your time here tonight. Maybe we can get you back down the road as the project kind of advances in its timeline and ask more questions.
Yeah.
I would love that. That would be so fun. It's been such a hoot hanging out with you two and all of your gang there in the New Prague town hall meeting that we're doing. I mean, this is fun. I have so many ideas about more cool picks, and I can't wait to see what develops in that timeline. I mean, if you thought a lot was going on in that last time lapse, you just wait, because soon we're going to see something with the naked eye.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. And so can you, just in closing, is there, any kind of social media any way that folks tuning in right now can follow along?
Oh yeah. Follow us at Minnope, as in MNOpe. Oh, no, we did it. Oh, yes, we did. On all of our social medias. And if it's too cool, and you certainly can follow, because we would like that. Because right now we're up to about 100 people, and it would be nice to have a couple more. Yeah.
Great. Well, we'll make sure we spread the word then as well.
Yeah, I know that people are really looking for more information on the Main Street project. So I think it would be useful, if time allows, to bring you back again and hopefully get some more questions answered. So
I would love that. Oh yeah, you're gonna make all my coworkers so jealous. They're gonna start calling me Jay-Z here, Dr. J.
Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in this evening for this part of our Delico Arts Town Hall series. We were very fortunate to spend some time this evening with the project manager for the Minnesota Office of Pathway Enhancement, Dr. Amelia Esfolt. Thank you very much, Dr. Esfolt, for joining us tonight.
Dang, you got it. So much fun. Everything was so fun.
Oh, thank you. And we'll see you soon. Take care, everyone, and good night.